That's a good post. Do it. Nice. I may have figured out the camera a little bit. Um, and by that, what I basically did is I just changed the OBS window to occupy a different part of the screen. Is it weird that fiction feels more realistic than reality? Well, reality is Metal Gear, so anything that feels less goofy than Metal Gear is, you know, fits that feeling. So, I mean, I guess it could be weird, but I think it's like, at this point, I'm kind of like, I'm used to the spirit of Kojima haunting every single thing that occurs in the modern day. Not that he's dead; he's actually still alive, and all that. But you know, wonder if there's any fan art of Trump X. There better not be. I'm gonna have to bleach my eyes if I see that. Um, yeah. Hey, am I sitting a little bit further back? Here we go. What was I gonna do today? Yes. Okay. So I've got my list of things today. You know how the idea wouldn't have popped up in my head if I didn't saw the one meeting. Yeah, I'll talk about the meeting in a second, but there was something that just came up because I was just thinking about this because of like Metal Gear. In academia, anybody with any familiarity with academia knows that all of social science is one long dialogue with the ghost of Marx. Marx is so influential in the social sciences, even if you are a neoliberal, like anti-Marxist, you have to talk about Marx in the social sciences. His analysis is just that influential for the development of sociology, history, economics, anthropology, and so on. And that continues to today. But I feel like the Hideo Kojima has become sort of like the 21st century version of that. Like the Metal Gear games and the anti-capitalism of the Metal Gear games that is so tailored to the 21st century and the early digital age and like the military industrial complex and all of that. The the Patriots, all the I hit my computer, all that shit that's like integral to the narrative of Metal Gear is going to be unavoidable, I think, in talking about politics. Like it's gonna be like, you know how what is it, Godwin's law? It's like, oh yeah, discussion can only persist for so long before somebody brings up Hitler or something like that. It's gonna be like the opposite side of the aisle equivalent of Godwin's law. People might not know this, but Hideo Kojima is a communist. He is probably the most famous left leaning person in Japan. If I had to guess, maybe not in Japan itself. Maybe there might be somebody else in Japan who's takes that title, but certainly around the world, he's one of the most famous people in that is a product of like Japanese cultural export. I don't know. That's a long way of saying that. I feel like you have social sciences as one long dialogue with the ghost of Marx, and with the 21st century, I feel like you add Hideo Kojima to that. Now, in the 21st century, the social sciences are all a dialogue revolving around Karl Marx and Hideo Kojima. And depending on which flavor of terminally online you are, you will refer to one or the other more. Imagine being a Republican that likes Metal Gear. You have to have either fridge temperature IQ to be a fascist that likes Metal Gear, or you have to like actually not believe in anything. And either way, you don't understand Metal Gear. Basically, if somebody's right wing and they say, I like Metal Gear, then that only fuels my superiority complex. And the superiority complex that you also should have over a person who says they like Metal Gear, but they hate socialism or something like that. I don't know. Basically, another excuse for me to toot my own horn, which I will do. Anyways, the meeting, the oh so talked about meeting between Trump and Zoran Mamdani. Um, I think that was like, before on the campaign trail and whatnot, I thought, oh man, Zoran is funny, he's charismatic, and that's rare, but it's not like unheard of. With respect to a political figure on the left, because Bernie to a lesser degree, I don't think Bernie's as charismatic as Zoran Mamdani, but Bernie was also like pretty funny. We've got some nice memes from Bernie Sanders' time in politics. That meeting took my impression of Zoran Mamdani from, oh, he's pretty charismatic and funny and he's really good at this, to this guy is actually a generational talent that we haven't seen in politics in America in decades. Imagine, okay, for all the, this is gonna sound super cringe and normie pilled. Imagine Barack Obama with twice the charisma and he actually has principles. And that's kind of what we're looking at with Zoran Mamdani. Truly the main character of American politics right now. Yes, unlike an online leftist, he is very pragmatic and is capable of reading the room. And also, unlike online leftists, he has actually read theory. I'm familiar enough with theory to know that he's read stuff that I haven't read, and that he's also read stuff that I have read. Because if you are a Luxemburgist, then you'd be if you were put in a comparable position and you're operating off of certain Marxist principles, you'd be behaving very similarly if you were really, really smart. Funny enough, I've never read theory. I've only heard of it. You don't need to read theory in order to be a leftist, to be a socialist, to be a communist. The read theory crowd is really just obsessed with academics that have been dead for a long time. The analytical framework is the only thing that I've stressed that people have, which is possible to develop without reading theory. It's just it's a combination of people's political beliefs. If you are trying to achieve better outcomes for the world, the most important thing is just that you use personal experience and data in ways that complement each other to form a coherent political view of things, and understand the deficiencies sometimes of data and personal experiences on their own. That's really it. In my personal experience, looking for a job was very difficult. This is cumulative, outside of college, right? But then the deficiency of that was that it left me very vulnerable to attacks on my self-esteem, thinking that, oh, it's a problem with just me, where it's oh, this is something that I have to do better. I just have to figure it out better. This isn't a wider problem or anything. This is on me. To a partial extent, obviously, that's true. There's always something that we could be doing better, whatever it is, right? But the deficiency of purely relying on personal experience informing the opinion that, oh, looking for a job is difficult, is that it hurt my self-image and it led me to have an erroneous view of the world that didn't really understand the economic circumstances that led to looking for a job being difficult, finding a job being difficult. When you combine that personal experience with the data that hiring and firing is either pretty stable or fluctuating in such a way that companies are hiring, it starts to make a lot more sense. You combine that with the personal experiences secondhand of other people, right? So you have your personal experience, other people's personal experience, and economic data writ large that all line up to paint a consistent picture that not only am I having a hard time finding a job is actually difficult and nobody's having a good time of it right now. You know? That's the analytical framework. You empirically do this, right? Like it's just based off of observations that you have of phenomena in the real world. It's not like purely emotionally motivated, though obviously emotion plays into how we see everything. But yeah, you have firsthand personal experience, your own experience, secondhand personal experience, reliable accounts of experience from somebody else, and then you have data, which is aggregated personal experience from thousands or millions of people. And that helps you form an opinion on things. And that is how you can be one of the smartest leftists in the world and never have read theory. Or just one of the smartest people. But I, repeat myself, because if you're intelligent, you lean left. I dare someone to stay a capitalist while looking at healthcare. Yeah, that's why that's like such a go-to example, and why people who would defend capitalism will try to preempt the argument or make all sorts of mental gymnastic leaps to defend American healthcare and say, well, it's not actually that bad. Because it is unavoidable that the absolute state of the American health system is a product of capitalist market incentives. You cannot have this system without market incentives, and you can't have healthcare subject to market incentives that doesn't result in this shit ass system. $1,000 for a checkup and clean alone, that's more expensive than a console. That's more expensive than a good gaming PC. You can build a good gaming PC that can run AAA titles at reasonably high graphical settings for $700. $1,000, that's about like 2/3 as much as a month's rent. And there's a rent crisis going on. And 2/3 of a month's rent, like that's on the low end. You know? Fuck, I was gonna say something about incentive structures and stuff, I think. I forgot what it was, though. So many people are gonna die in the future, it's not even gonna be funny. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about the American health system, right? Like, it results in thousands, I think even tens of thousands of avoidable deaths per year. You know? It's not like since whatever year. No, like every year the bodies pile up as a product of the severe deficiencies of the American health system. Anyways, I lost my train of thought because of this. Um, but yeah, the meeting. I wonder if there's any here's Zoran Mamdani Trump meeting. Crack my knuckles. You know, the shit libs are actually not flipping out over this meeting as much as I would expect. It tends to be the online leftists who call themselves Marxists and have never read Marx. I guess that makes them real Marxists because they've never read Marx. Who are saying that like Zoran is a fake leftist and a traitor to the revolution and is a liberal opportunist while they do nothing. Oh yeah, you get Liberals think both parties are the same, basically. Both parties are the same. The difference is whether, you decide to let that stop you from trying to make political changes happen. Like, the people who I lambast when I talk about like tankies doing nothing act like the two parties being the same and both subject to the interests of capital is some brand new revelation that forces us to work entirely outside of the institutional structures that presently exist. You should do things outside of that institutional structure of politics, right? You should be active at the local level. You should go and annoy the fuck out of your town hall to build more affordable housing and to build public transit and shit like that. But you should also engage with the electoral process precisely because it can net people like Zoran Mamdani and Katie Wilson. And maybe in the next mayoral campaign, Omar Fateh. And liberals, to the extent that liberals even engage in the whole the both parties are the same shit, they do the like both parties are the same in parentheses complementary. Well, where they will use that to do apologism for the Republicans. But frankly, I actually don't see that much anymore. The only people as of late that I've seen doing the whole Democrats and Republicans are on the same side type shit are Republicans and centrist Democrat politicians. I have not really seen regular people doing the whole both parties are the same, which means bipartisanship is good and possible and necessary for the country, or something like that. Anyways, I'm not going to let my train of thought derail more than it already has. Let's take a look at what NBC had to say on the subject of Zoran Mamdani and his meeting with Donald Trump. Yes, the best part undoubtedly was Trump versus the reporters. Mamdani didn't walk back anything. And whenever he was challenged on his beliefs, like, do you still believe this, from some like random fuck ass reporters who are fake journalists? Thank you. Trump was cooking when he said fake news media or whatever. Basically found a way to either just not answer the question or answer it in a way that's consistent with what he believes and what they were like. They were like, is it true that blah, 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 blah? Yeah. Like literally at one point, there was a reporter said like, do you still think Trump is a fascist? And Trump was like, don't worry, ignore her. You can just say yes. And then he was like, okay, then yes. And the best part about all that is that they were so desperate to try to put a wedge between Zoran Mamdani and Donald Trump because they are sycophants for Donald Trump. I need people to understand this. NBC News, Axios, New York Post is an obvious one, but like all of those news outlets are sycophants that are constantly on Donald Trump's nuts 24/7. They don't want Mamdani to succeed. This is not from the perspective of like, oh, well, we need to treat Trump like the fascist he is. No, Trump represents capital. And they represent capital. They want Trump to be victorious. They recognize that Zoran Mamdani is a threat to them. However, what they fail to account for in being liberals is that there are psychological motivations and personalities and egos at play that can at times chafe with and outsize the institutions that they are otherwise an integrated part of. And for Trump, he loves to be a big boy, a strong man, businessman, art of the deal type shit. You know, he didn't write that, but that's the persona he loves to create for himself. And both him and Zoran fucking hate the news media. I don't think he even had to manipulate Donald Trump very hard. He literally just had to appeal to the fact that both of them fucking hate the Democrats and both of them fucking hate the news media. And hey, count me as number 3. I hate the news media. I hate the Democrats. The difference is Probably like Zoran Mamdani, I will also be the first to acknowledge that Donald Trump is a pedophile, and the Republican Party is a fucking scourge on this country, and has been 1,000 times more destructive than the Democratic Party, partly because the Democratic Party outsources their evil to the Republicans and simply decides not to stop the raging wildfire that consumes America from time to time. Yeah, basically, the fucking news media was trying to shoot for three every time against Zoran, and he was blocking it every time. Kind of wish we lived in the universe where he could be president. Well, he would have to have been born an American citizen for that to be the case. Honestly, as well, I think he's better suited to be the mayor of New York City, where he personally has more influence in the political process there. You know? New York Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani said Saturday he still believes Trump is a fascist and despot, but he viewed their first face-to-face meeting at the White House on Friday as an opportunity to work together on lowering the cost of living for New Yorkers. Very nice. See, they're desperate to be like, see, he works with fascists, even though they love fascists. Basically, they've failed to drive a wedge between Zoran Mamdani and Donald Trump during the meeting. So now what they're trying to do is drive a wedge between Zoran Mamdani and the people who read this article. This is lip slop. I don't feel like reading this, actually. I changed my mind. I think we got a decent enough window into what NBC thinks of this. But they were frustrated at Trump. Oh, yeah. They really did not want Trump to be friendly with Zoran Mamdani. But Trump is a big art of the deal, strongman, big boy who loves to make deals. And he sees in Mamdani an equal in relative terms. All these news reporters that are on Trump's nuts all the time, all the Republican politicians that are constantly trying to cater to the political whims of Donald Trump, the Democrats who have no spine and are ultimately subservient to the same set of interests that Trump represents, capital, that will cuck out to Trump reliably with no reason at all to. He hates these people, right? They are beneath him. Zoran Mamdani is willing to say, fuck you, you're a fascist, turn the volume up because I'm about to get a lot louder. And Trump respects that. It's for the same reason that he respects Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un. They are strong men. Their personality has a strong influence on the politics of their countries, right? North Korea and Russia have in common that the personalities of their heads of state is a not insignificant part of the state of politics in those countries, you know? Whereas if you take a look at somewhere like France or the UK or Germany or fucking, I don't know, Poland, you know, these are countries for whom the leaders have very little personality outside of what the institution permits them to do. You know? Like, when do you hear about Emmanuel Macron, except for when he's done some neoliberal shit? Like, like, sometimes maybe you hear about him being, I don't know, a sex pest or, like, sex crazed or something like that, which, I mean, France is one of the horniest countries in Europe. That makes sense. That's not, like, particularly special. I wouldn't say that the heads of state in the UK and France, or the functional head of state in the UK, in the case of Starmer, or Germany or Poland or whatever, have a particularly large influence on the way that country is perceived, on the political identity of that country, right? Whereas Trump in America has a significant connection to the way that American political identity is perceived, right? Now, it's kind of an Ouroboros in that respect. Trump reflects the political caricatures of America and thus reifies them. But nonetheless, people think of Trump as a particularly American figure. Zoran Mamdani has a very big personality and is very New York. He might not have the thickest New York accent, but in fact, I think Trump actually has a thicker New York accent than Zoran Mamdani does. But Zoran Mamdani represents another one of these outsized personalities that really shines in contrast to the institution that neoliberals want you to be completely subservient to. Yeah, it literally is like the Senator Armstrong scene. Senator Armstrong being a representative of the interests of the Patriots in Metal Gear, their analog for the capital class in the military-industrial complex. Senator Armstrong is nonetheless a charismatic and unique presence. You remember his personality. Even though he is merely the face for the faceless machine, he's unique enough to be the face. You know, that you like, people remember that. Everybody remembers Senator Armstrong from Metal Gear. But nobody gives a shit about Chuck Schumer except to say, yeah, he should resign from office. Nobody really gives a shit about any one of the state governors, except for the rare occasion, you know? Nobody really gives a shit about any given Democratic senator or congressman, with the exception of Bernie Sanders, purely because he's been in politics for so long, you know? Yeah, Senator Armstrong acts friendly and charismatic even when you're fighting him, you know? The point of that being, the news media was angry. It seemed like there was a pretty desperate attempt for the media outlets to try to drive a wedge between Zoran Mamdani and Donald Trump, which made them look more weak and wimpy and cowardly and manipulative to Trump, which, I mean, we all know them to be already, right? This is mainstream news. Their job is to cuck for the interests of capital. But Trump doesn't like that. So in effect, that actually brought the two of them closer. It made Trump reflexively want to defend Mamdani even more. And now, I think this was like total political success. Number one victory royale for Zoran Mamdani, that now Trump respects him and is less likely to bulldog him the way that he would a governor or city official that he views as beneath him, like sending in ICE to just rough up New York, you know? That's not to say that he won't, but I think that, like, he respects that Zoran is a big man, a strong man with a, like, vision for New York. And the news outlets can't fucking stand that. I don't know how to pronounce your name. The Bolsheviks were Jews. I imagine some of them were. The Bolsheviks built a pretty broad coalition in Russia. Unfortunately, the Russian Communist Party after that ended up being pretty anti-Semitic. You know, because of their relationship with the Nazis. Welcome to chat. Everybody's allowed one, but if you do any sort of like JQ posting anymore, you will just get banned. So tread carefully, I guess. Anyways, that does remind me of just to wrap up the subject. That does remind me of another subject, which is the namesake of the stream. When I was typing out the stream title, it occurred to me that there could be some people that look at the title and think that it just says based, when in reality it says based in Bangladesh. All right, that's it. You're banned. Bye. It was on Twitter. There's this feature. To my knowledge, it's still implemented. I think somebody implemented this by mistake, or implemented it thinking that they would it would have a drastically different effect than what it ended up having. Right? where if you, I think if you go to somebody's profile, let me see if this works on Polling USA here, account that I follow. Shout outs to them by the way. Yeah, it does work. Okay, so let me show you guys the thing that I am talking about here. You can see where a certain account is based from. Account based in Canada, connected via Canada Android app. I've known for some time this guy is Canadian, but he does political polling for both Canada and the United States. Very cool. Very cool dude. Does good polling. People very quickly applied this and started looking at a bunch of MAGA accounts. And wouldn't you know it, they're all like Indian, South Asian, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Malaysia, whatever the fuck. None of them are American. With the exception of accounts that are people that you know for sure are Americans, like Laura Loomer, in real life political figure. We know she's American, so obviously her account is American. I don't know, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, if they have Twitter presence. Obviously we know they're American, right? I'm talking about like Roman statue accounts. Here's a good one. I found a really good one. America First fan account. Let's have a look at this. America First Lady. Wow, white children. Account based in Bangladesh. There's more too. Let me see if I can find another one. Oh, here's a American guy, account based in India, right? Ultra MAGA Trump 2028, account based in Nigeria. Actual Nigerian prince type shit. Nice meme, Right Wing Cove, thank you. People have been memeing about Homeland Security being based in Israel, very funny. Oh, look at this. Bunch of MAGA like fan accounts. Fan Eric Trump, account based in Macedonia, former Yugoslav Republic. Baron Trump, Baron News, also based in Macedonia, former Yugoslav Republic. Both of these, like all four of these accounts, Kai Trump official commentary, Carolyn Leavitt News, Eric Trump fan account, Baron Trump, all of these accounts are based in Macedonia, former Yugoslav Republic, i.e., not America. Red Pilled Nurse, based in Europe. Newswire even reporting on this. Newswire, not the most credible source of information, but we are literally looking at corroborating information right now. Many MAGA-aligned influencer accounts exposed as foreign, traced to India, Nigeria, and Russia, among other places, of course, as well. Oh, here's leading report as well. Ian Miles Chong, we already knew, was from Indonesia, but I guess his account is based in the UAE now. Gotta farm those petrostate bucks, I guess. There's Ultra MAGA again. There's that America First Lady that we just looked at. Magascope. Here's another one based in Nigeria. Very good. Natalia Fadiv, account based in Nigeria. Pick of a IDF soldier. Thank you. Very cool. Doge Designer apparently is from India. Let me take a look at this. Yep, account based in India. Very good. Russian army spoof account. Account based in India. I bet if you ask these people, they would say they vote in the elections even though they physically can't. Oh, yeah. Best update ever? Absolutely. This is one of the best updates that Twitter has ever received. I actually think that this is a product of somebody thinking that this was going to be a gotcha for a lot of like liberal or left-leaning accounts who have always been, for the most part, pretty open about where they're from, right? Like, Polling USA is Canadian. They've never made secret of the fact that they're Canadian. They're pretty open about that. They're like, yeah, I'm Canadian. I do polling for Canada and the US. This is the US polling account, right? I bet they thought that that would be some big expose, but they didn't like key to the psychosexual brain state of conservatives and the right wing and the fascists is that they have no fucking idea how much they're projecting. And so they'll do shit like this thinking, yeah, that'll show them. And then what it shows us really is that all of these fucking pro like America First accounts are from India, Russia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, UAE, or whatever the fuck. And I think Elon actually tried to do some kind of mitigation because they realize they can't get rid of this feature because that just makes it look like they have something to hide, which they do. They kind of dug themselves into a hole with this. They tried to put a little like, oh, this person uses a VPN, so the location might be accurate, which is fair, but ultimately does not smooth over the bigger picture at all. They cannot resist the urge to do projection sorcery. And yes, this is this is in a way not like, I haven't seen this make the right wing start eating itself that much. Also spam chat, goodbye. But I have seen it become a absolutely glorious humiliation ritual for fascists the world round. That, oh, you guys are all posting America First from your fucking house in Bangladesh, from your fucking flat in India, from your goddamn, I don't know, I don't know, maybe your like mountain abode in fucking Pakistan. You know, like none of you are American. But that's not, if I may be so bold. They are trying to cover it up. If I may be so bold, I actually don't hold it against any of those accounts, right? And I don't think that anybody else does either. I think people on the left are smart enough to acknowledge this. Yes, it is like very sad state of affairs, obviously, that people fall for this shit. But it is also like, you have to recognize that it's a testament to how stupid the right wing is that anybody with a basic degree of English literacy can convincingly mimic what passes for right-wing propaganda to the extent that you grow an account with hundreds of thousands of followers. And the reason that this happened, right, is because it was made possible to make money off of Twitter. There's a reason that these accounts are based in countries like Macedonia, former Yugoslav Republic, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Southeast Asia. There's a reason for those countries particularly being hotspots for these fake MAGA sock puppet accounts. Yes, all roads lead back to capitalism here. And look, who could blame them, right? These countries are for the most part dirt poor. You need that money. If somebody's figured out, oh shit, I can just feed slop to the right-wing piggies over in America, and that gets me enough money to cover rent, expenses, remittances, whatever the fuck, and feed my family this month, by all means, like, fuck it, sure, right? Like, people make a living off of that. But ultimately, I think it's more so clowning on the right wing being so stupid enough that literally anybody with a basic degree of English language comprehension could string together a sentence with a noun, a verb, and 9/11, to quote Joe Biden from the one presidential election. But in this case, like a noun and a verb and like immigrants are ruining the West. And they'll like, the right-wing base will just go for it constantly, you know? The market incentives have been created for fascist propaganda to be outsourced to the minorities that on a global scale it operates at the detriment of. Or rather, fascism, this is part of like the recuperation process almost, where fascism is being reabsorbed into capitalism, ejected and reabsorbed, right? Global capitalism obviously is not very kind to a large portion of the world. A large portion of the world does not really benefit from the market system. They're very heavily exploited in that respect. But because of that exploitation, survival based on the market appeal to the countries that do benefit from that system is possible. Because of capitalism, it became necessary for these people to be looking for money to feed their families in a desperate situation in these very poor countries. That's why these countries are poor in the first place, right? There's no such thing as like a just inherently poor country, right? And then also because of the market which created that destitution to begin with, the mechanisms are now there for you to take advantage of that market, to appeal to the core in the dumb fuck core in Europe and America with all these MAGA America First accounts. And now the architects of your own misery gave you an opportunity to make rent each month. It's a complete Ouroboros of an economic system, and it is endlessly culturally derivative, right? Like MAGA and America First are so many steps culturally derivative from anything related to like Americana, you know? It's such. I saw a post to this effect earlier, and I was speculating as to this, but the relationship between capital and fascism and like this specific phenomenon that we're looking at, where there are international fascist sock puppet accounts that like pretend to be American for the sake of farming clout and engagement in America because American money is valuable elsewhere in the world, right? In terms of just like raw purchasing power. I feel like that, like legitimately, that is so deeply entangled with the complexities and contradictions of capitalism. You could write a whole fucking master's or doctoral thesis just on that if you knew where to start, right? And there's a reason that it sounds like the Empire from Star Wars. What do you think the Empire was based off of from Star Wars? Wonder if anyone made a video essay about it. I do wonder. I don't think that this phenomenon has been confirmed fact for long enough for somebody to actually put together the research to that effect. You got to understand, in the scale of academia, in the scale of political and academic study, the digital age is still very, very recent. The social sciences, in one form or another, have existed for thousands of years. Philosophers have been studying human behavior, extrapolated to various larger or smaller levels, and been asking questions about the contradictions of society and how, like, how do managing these resources work? What are the incentive structures that govern this? What kind of class divides with separate interests are we looking at here? Right? How will people react when this happens? People have been asking questions like that for thousands of years. The digital age, as we know it, has only existed for about 30 years, which is about, I would say, less than 1% of the whole time that social sciences or philosophy approximating the social sciences has existed. We've had digital technology, and even less of that time has the internet been in such a state where it's like possible for these new market incentives, like uniquely toxic and atomized market incentives that prey on the most parasocial of the parasocial instincts of people to be realized. If there's if anybody's out there who fancies themselves a video essayist, please make a video essay on this. This is going to be a very important topic of study because of the rise of like untrustworthy media, the deterioration of truth in the social contract, the deterioration of the social contract by way of atomization on the internet, the increasing ease with which people can produce relatively convincing propaganda, the deterioration of critical thinking to the extent that any degree of propaganda becomes that much more convincing to your average person. Holy shit. Like, legitimately, it is a fun humiliation ritual, and I've been delighting in it the whole time. But this is actually like an absolute brain buster of a nexus between all of these different factors that make capitalism, both past and present, what it is now. Yeah, it like this ties to how AI has been used to destroy the concept of truth, because now AI can like pretty convincingly mimic live action footage. Jesus, man. My brain actually started like racing a mile a minute with some of this shit. I don't even know how to end that. I don't know what to come away from that with. I guess it just kind of to I guess to itemize it to a certain level that's like germane to American politics more specifically. This is nonetheless a confirmation that the right wing is stupid and fake and gay, right? They were stupid enough to fall for this kind of propaganda where it's like ultra MAGA America first, whatever, account based in Bangladesh, you know? And there is no like indication or guarantee one way or the other that any of the people running these sock puppet accounts actually believe any of this stuff. The only thing that's certain is that it's financially appealing enough. There's enough of a financial incentive for people to post that shit that they'll post it and try to make a living in Bangladesh, in India, in Macedonia, former Yugoslav Republic, in like wherever else, right? And also it's gay because it's like, I don't know, ultra masculinity type shit. And you know that all the like ultra masculine, performatively masculine right wingers get hard when they see a muscular guy or one of those like chiseled Roman statues. Which is fine. I'm not making fun of them for that. I'm making fun of them for repressing it and making it everybody else's problem that they're repressed. Anyways, yeah, white race savior. You're browner than I expected. Cut the segment. It's kind of crazy if you look at Indian culture, they still value white skin color even after the British left. Yeah, that's like that's actually kind of like an earlier form of white supremacy where it's like the there's like a beauty to fair skin. There's like a elevation of fair skin as a beauty standard, where modern white supremacy is more so you couldn't give a shit if somebody is white, but it's like the incentive is reversed, where instead of venerating the beauty and aesthetics of having white skin, it's all about attacking anybody who has the swarthy dark skin, you know? And also, yes, India does have a very funny like brand of white supremacy there. Um, an unfortunate consequence of the globalization of a lot of these systems. And the reason it can be both funny and unfortunate is because, it inspires great suffering, or it results in great suffering, but then, the contradictions are evident enough to be cartoonish to an outsider. Who is the now that we've done something that ended up being like hopelessly complex, I actually want to oh yeah, we can talk about that. Nice meme. Zoran Mamdani did some quick like rage bait farming on the right wing. Total success, by the way, further cementing the point of how stupid the right wing is, where he said that it will be mandatory for all children to learn Arabic numerals. And the right wing predictably exploded at that. Everybody on the left saw this coming, by the way. Everybody, down to the last person. Literally, the headline dropped, and people were on the left were like, right wing outrage in 3, 2, 1, right on cue. Oh my God, jihadist, terrorist, Muslim extremists, blah, blah, blah. You know, we should be learning English numerals, American numerals, type shit. Arabic numerals is just the numbers that we use. Like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are Arabic numerals. You dumb sacks of shit, right wingers. I feel like this is kind of like, it's a really nice feeling to come away with. It's a really nice thing to observe, phenomenon to observe, that right wingers can't like aura farm off of being evil or anything. Now they just get farmed by being stupid. You know, like previous number system felt like cancer. Oh yeah, the previous number system was you could use tallies, which was like actually not that bad. I've used tallies before in school. But Roman numerals are like fucking disastrous. You have I, which is 1, V is 5, X is 10, L is 20, C is, no, wait, 20 is just XX, L is 50, C is 100, and M is 1000, right? And in the Roman numeral system, obviously you have IV, you have IX. IV is 4, which means 1 before 5. IX is 9, means 1 before 10. But to write 19, you don't write IXX, you write XIX. 10 and 1 before 10. And then 20 is XX, 10 and 10. 30, I think, is like, I actually don't remember. That is how difficult Roman numerals are. Once you get to 30 and 40 and numbers approaching 50, I really do not remember how Roman numerals go. It is that complicated. It like, you end up looking at these like long ass strings of, you have to know math just to decode the number that a Roman numeral is trying to tell you. Arabic numerals, way more simple. That shit is based on how you count on your fingers. A simple Google search could have saved them. Yeah, but like right wingers barely have a functioning brain. They can't use Google. Believe you me when I say that Americans are dumber than what one Google search could teach you. Like, if there's anything that was like, you could have learned this with one Google search and two, like, less than a minute of your time, Americans are dumber than that. Or I should say people in the digital age, especially, are dumber than that. You know? How do I view bookmarks? There it is. Okay. It's on the side here. I did not bookmark this. Now that I've talked about now that we've talked about the fun shit, Zoran Mamdani aura farming on the right wing for being stupid fucks, there's one thing that I wanted to react to which was making the rounds, and that is this one lady who's like a pro-Israel type. I'm sure people have seen her. This like liberal Zionist type lady, who is so evil it actually transcends what I think a lot of conservatives are capable of. Like, this is the kind, like, you remember how I was saying the other time that there are certain types of evil that it's very difficult to depict in children's media because of the complexities of evil in the real life, in the real world. This is one kind of evil that is simple enough to depict in children's media, but I think would actually be too insidious and scary to depict in children's media, partly because of like how banal it is. And I'm kind of stalling for time so I can look for it, but oh jeez, where is where is that post? Where's that video rather? Here, maybe if I Google the quote that she had here, hold on. Wall of okay. Okay, yeah, former Obama speechwriter. This is the woman who okay, we're gonna react to some stuff. You guys love React content. I know you do. We're gonna react to this woman, Sarah Hurwitz, who was a speechwriter for Barack Obama and then Michelle Obama. Laments to the Jewish Federation that people are finding content from Al Jazeera and Nick Fuentes. Great that she's combining both of those into a single category. You know, catboy, repressed gay white supremacist, and, you know, pretty reputable news outlet that covers mostly Middle Eastern stuff, but has a, like, somewhat pronounced petro-state bias at times. On social media and seeing videos of the carnage in Gaza. Holocaust education has backfired in part as people see Palestinians as Jews victims, she adds. They think the lesson of the Holocaust is you fight the big, powerful people hurting the weak people. They think the lesson of the Holocaust is you fight the big, powerful people hurting the weak people. Yeah, and then the implication is that the lesson that we were supposed to take from that is that Israel just gets to do whatever the fuck it wants. Only dumb people watch the news. May or may not be true. It depends on the reasoning for which you watch the news. Let's zoom in a little bit. I don't usually like making it full screen. Let's go to 150%. Looks pretty good, I think. It's going to be a little bit aligned to the side here, but let's listen to this really disgusting clip. I heard some of this and I actually like formed a pit in my stomach. Like it hurt to watch.
I think that since October 7th, but really before then, there have been huge shifts in America on how people think about Jews and Israel. And I think that is especially true of young people. So we are now wrestling with a new, I think, generational divide here. And I think that's particularly true in that social media is now our source of media. And this, you know, it used to be that the media you got in America was American media, and it was pretty mainstream. You know, it generally didn't express extreme anti-Israel views.
This is already like insidiously evil in kind of a subtle way, but what she's lamenting here is that social media, like the issue she's taking with social media is not, sorry, excuse me, is not like AI misinformation, whatever. It's not white supremacy. No, the issue she has with social media is that it is enabling American youth to get sources of news that aren't directly influenced by the American state, and enables them to access news that doesn't frame things from a uncritically pro-Israel standpoint. That is her problem here. We have to do something about this not state-controlled media.
You had to go to a pretty weird bookstore to find global media and fringe media.
Literally, what she's taking issue with is that information can flow freely. She wants, this is a pro-censorship position. Oh yeah, it used to be you had to go really far out of your way to find something that disagreed with the official position of the state.
But today, we have social media, which is a global medium. Right? Its algorithms are shaped by billions of people worldwide who don't really love Jews. And
when she says don't really love Jews, she means aren't subservient to Israel. You will find out why I say that in a moment, but I'm sure that the lead up gave you sort of plenty of reason to make that inference.
So while in the 1990s, a young person probably wasn't going to find Al Jazeera or someone like Nick Fuentes, today those media outlets find them. They find them on their phones. It's also this increasingly post-literate media, less and less text, more and more videos. So you have
that much is true. So far, insofar as she has said descriptive claims, I need to preface this, because this is actually part of how insidious this woman's evil is. So far, she has mostly made correct descriptive statements. Social media is a place of unparalleled media access. It did used to be that media in America actually was pretty tightly censored and state controlled. You actually did have to go pretty far out of your way to find stuff like that. Find stuff that was critical of Israel back in the day. And to her point here, yes, it is also the case that because of the way that content circulates, because of the way that the internet interacts with you via the algorithm and how it shapes our attention span, stuff like that, a lot of the media that we get, a lot of the news is now in the format of videos as opposed to articles, text. Yeah, she is used basically I'll get to what I think is really going on with her in a minute, but I actually do think that she believes what she's saying. Right?
Of TikTok just smashing our young people's brains all day long with video of carnage in Gaza.
Not with anything else, just the carnage in Gaza. Wow, yeah. Seeing a genocide unfold in real time is profoundly negatively impactful for the mental health of the youth. I wonder what we can do to address this problem going forward. I wonder if there's a way to maybe, stop the horrors of the world from unfolding and prevent people from experiencing them secondhand. What do you got?
And this is why so many of us can't have a sane conversation with younger Jews, because anything
so many of us, take note of that
we try to say to them.
Also, with younger Jews, particularly Jewish people in America, young Jewish people in America are almost uniquely pro-Palestine. For all the faults of the way that modern media has influenced the political landscape, it has enabled people to be much more internationalist minded in a way that leads them to oppose things like genocide in other countries. But man, it's so hard to get through to young Jews on why they should love the state of Israel when it's committing atrocities against other Semitic peoples.
Have a sane conversation with younger Jews, because anything that we try to say to them, they are hearing it through this wall of carnage. So I want to give data and information.
Yeah.
And facts and arguments, and they are just seeing in their minds carnage.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to convince people of something when they there's readily available visual evidence that you're full of shit. She's complaining that she doesn't get to do some historiography bullshit. I know exactly how how liberal Zionist Jews love to do this, by the way, because I had family who was like this. I've since cut contact with that family. They are no longer a part of my life, and I think they were part of they were in a relationship with somebody else in the family. We weren't relatives by blood, but they're not part of that relationship anymore, and I think that's better for both of them. And I know that this person is pretty, I think, sound in that decision, doesn't regret it. Liberal Zionist Jews, particularly, love to do this shit where they will try to weave the most weird narrative of like liberal statehood. God promised us this land, literal blood and soil type shit, clothed in a veneer of liberalism to sell you on the idea that simultaneously Israel didn't do anything bad, but also like all the people suffering aren't actually suffering, or it's fake or something like that. That narrative doesn't work when you can watch Gaza be obliterated in real time. When you see the bodies piling up, when there are pictures and videos of children burning to death in hospitals after Israeli bombings, right? When all of the civilian infrastructure in Gaza has been destroyed. Most of the schools and hospitals are no longer standing. All the means of life have been targeted systematically, and the area has been reduced to rubble. When you see that, you see like satellite photography, drone footage, that is almost impossible to fake. And you see unequivocally, doesn't matter what argument you put to people. If you're a Zionist trying to like get people to believe that they should love the state of Israel, it is impossible for you to break through that absolute gut punch. That is an entire city reduced to rubble and hundreds of thousands dead, confirmed by multiple video sources, news sources, text sources, and whatever. And she's complaining that she can't just fucking lie to the youth like she used to.
And I sound obscene.
And that's because she is obscene.
And, I think, unfortunately, the very smart, bet that we made on Holocaust education to serve as anti-Semitism education, in this new media environment, I think that is beginning to break down a little bit. Because
I wonder why. Holocaust education has backfired. I wonder why she will say that Holocaust education has backfired.
Holocaust education is absolutely essential.
Yeah, it reminds me of a certain war that happened that resulted in a certain genocide called the Holocaust.
But I think it may be confusing some of our young people about anti-Semitism because they learn about big, strong Nazis hurting weak, emaciated Jews. And they think, oh, anti-Semitism is like anti-black racism, right? Powerful white people against powerless black people.
Yes. Faith in the youth restored, by the way. This video restored my faith in the youth. Because yes, if you look at any type of Holocaust education, if you learn about that as a kid, and your takeaway is, wow, I don't like it when big, strong political powers bully minority groups to such an extent potentially that they even kill them in mass slaughters and stuff. We should live in a world where the political order doesn't enable big, strong powers to like bully and destroy minority groups. Like as a kid, you think like, wow, that's pretty bad. If that happens today, that's really bad. That shouldn't happen. That is the correct lesson to take. But to her, that is the incorrect lesson to take. What she has told you right here is she does not principally oppose the Holocaust.
So when on TikTok all day long they see powerful Israelis hurting weak, skinny Palestinians, it's not surprising that they think, oh, I know, the lesson of the Holocaust is you fight Israel. You fight the big, powerful people hurting the weak people.
Yes, that is the lesson. In fact, it is actually shocking how one-to-one the lead up to the genocide in Palestine and the actions of the state of Israel are to the state of Germany during World War II. Israel might be the only state in the world that's insane enough to actually follow through on a genocide in this manner, the way that Nazi Germany did in the 1930s and 40s. And she's like, man, it sucks that the lesson our kids took from Holocaust education is that genocide is bad. The lesson we should have tried to teach them is that they should be subservient to the state of Israel. This is what real fascism sounds like. MAGA is a fascist movement. The American far right is fascist. You know, I don't intend to dispel any of that because all of that is true. But your average MAGA individual is infinitely less of a fascist than this woman. This woman is authentically more of a fascist than any random Republican voter, because I don't think the Republican voter believes in anything strongly enough for them to behave like this. The average Republican voter, genuinely, I mean this sincerely, I feel like if you asked Republican voters, a Republican voter who is, you know, pro-Trump, pro-MAGA, whatever, most far right of the far right, barring like Nick Fuentes' audience, you know, you ask them their opinion on free and fair elections. Yeah, I love free and fair elections. They'll throw some shit in about the Democrats and electoral fraud, blah, 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 right? But legitimately, they would have some kind of deference and acknowledgement for democratic processes and institutions. Yes, democracy is good. The republic needs to be preserved from enemies, foreign and domestic, whatever, right? And a lot of them, being libertarian coded, probably would not like a state that demands worship. You know? And in fact, most of them probably don't believe anything strongly enough to get to that point anyways. You know, this is like, it's relatively basic stuff. This woman, what's her name? Sarah Hurwitz just went on a 2-minute explanation of what problems social media, what quote unquote problems social media has brought to the world, where she explained that she is not principally opposed to the Holocaust. Oh, you know, the lesson we should have taken from the Holocaust isn't that you know, big, strong political powers shouldn't bully weak groups of people. Yeah, literally, like, this divine covenant with, like, this is the subservience to the state underwritten in this video. And the like, justification for Palestinian suffering and just human suffering in general. And the implication, because it's with regards to the state of Israel specifically, the implication that it is God's promised land, blood and soil. This was promised to us by divine right, and we must live here to realize a heaven on earth where all of the degenerates are purged from society, and that's good, actually, makes her so much more of a fascist than any MAGA supporter could ever hope to be. No amount of vice signaling could make you look as evil as this woman is. If there is a hell, I hope she rots and burns in it forever. Let me zoom back out. 100%. Here we go. She'll probably get mad at me for not respecting hierarchy. Oh, I know. She would. I referenced experiences I've had with family who were liberal Zionists and are no longer part of the family, El Bozo. And yes, they make a lot of arguments from the perspective of subservience to the state. In fact, that is their go-to. To refer back to this discussion I had where this person tried to lecture me on why Israel has a divine right to exist or some shit. The last argument of last resort that they went to in justifying the existence of the state of Israel was that, well, everybody's a Zionist because being a Zionist just refers to the existence of a state. So, everybody's a Zionist. And what I told them was, no, I'm still not a Zionist because I don't like the state. I don't believe there should be a state. Zionists, like, because of that's like the bedrock upon which a lot of Zionism is built. Just like, I don't know, more or less Jewish coded or Christian coded, whatever, depending on which version of the justifying myth of Israel you're employing, right? All of them are actually slavishly devoted to hierarchy and the state to such an extent that, like, they will say some astoundingly evil shit. You know? And that's the kind of evil that I think it's actually almost impossible to depict in children's cartoons. But now, insidious evil with such a casual superiority complex, that with such a casual acceptance and superiority complex, that you get mildly, maternalistically frustrated that you can't convince the youth to be okay with thousands of kids dead. Cartoon villains have the decency to speak in an over-the-top voice, to twist their mustache, and to be like, I'm going to blow up the world. Think Dr. Eggman type shit. And he's pretty charming, depending on the entry, he could be more or less evil. But cartoon villains, you have a good idea of what kind of evil that is. It's a very spectacular and visually evident kind of evil. This is an evil so casual that, like, this is actually a threat to the existence of modern society in a stable form. I actually think that people like that woman, the prevalence of the ideology that governs that woman's thought, that ideology that she represents, is more of a threat to this country and every country on earth than the ideology of your average MAGA individual. Because your average MAGA individual is driven largely by emotion, and they are very stupid. And what that means is that they can be pulled in any which way politically if they're given a compelling enough emotional narrative, which means you could use that to make the country a lot better. There are people who voted for Donald Trump and then voted for Zohran Mamdani. With people like that woman, they are educated enough to understand how evil they are and to say, you're the evil one actually because you disagree with me. My vision of the world requires that this group of people be dead. And they're committed to that in an affirmative sense. It's like there's a certain emotional coldness in that ideology that is more threatening. And that ideology is ultimately, it's either neoliberal or neoconservative Zionism, right? And in this case, I am actually taking a page out of liberal Zionist playbook in defining Zionism, which is just the ideology of statism, of worshiping the state, of believing that a state should govern society with a strong, divinely guiding hand. This is the ideology of the deep state, the military-industrial complex. That ideology, more or less exemplified in any given person who's a part of that, socioeconomic group, is probably the gravest threat that the world faces. Because they are the kinds of people, in addition to the billionaires who are a much stupider version of this, who will burn down the whole world so that they can competently administer the cinders that are left. Reminds me of the people who talk about religion. That's not a coincidence. Religion and the state are deeply intertwined. In fact, there's all evidence indicates that organized religion emerged at about the same time as the state because the state needed a way to justify its own existence. How do you convince people that they should give you all the control of the food, all the control of the valuables, all the control of the area, all the control of the weapons. Easy. You say that whatever spiritual deity you believe in told you that. And you get somebody who's very familiar with the religion, a priest, to sell that narrative. Religion and the state fundamentally are one and the same. Mechanisms of social control by a threat of violence, either real or implied. You know, that's why in the earliest eras of history, the city-states and the very early empires, a lot of the heads of state would be head of church. You know, priest kings, god emperors, god kings. It's no coincidence that people who talk about subservience to God in God's kingdom and people who talk about the Zionist state sound very similar. It's because they're two sides of the same coin. Religion and the state, same thing. It's a method of control and building hierarchy where an in-group gets to wield power at the expense of an out-group. And much like the state, if you leave that unchecked, pogroms will ensue, slaughters, genocides. Anyways, that concludes this episode of Try Not to Be a Fucking Anarchist Challenge. Difficulty impossible. It's just that religion is kind of, now that the state has been sort of secularized, and that people are prepared to worship the state outside of existing religious structures, the two have kind of diverged. Funnily enough, the separation of church and state achieved that in more than one way. It separated the church from, you know, lawmaking and stuff like that, but it also separated the state from the need to spiritually justify itself, because now it had a more direct, more worldly method of perpetuating its control. That is to slightly broaden the in-group so that more people are willing to, you know, become its adherents. Does that make sense? I fucking hate that lady. Sarah Hurwitz? I think that was her name. Like I said, if there is an eternal torment nexus, she belongs there. Cut the segment. Damn, I went way over. It's gaming time. Pretend you guys didn't see that. What's going on? Pretend you didn't see that either. All right, great. Now that I've done the first half of the stream, I can do about an hour of this probably. I may even be able to finish the game, depending. List. Wait, do I want to take some stuff? Or about other stuff first? I think you gotta do some random jobs first. Oh yeah, I need to change the details. Oopsie. Red and blue rescue team, very good. Then go to the tags. Mystery dungeon. Pokemon mystery dungeon. And Pokemon. Yeah. Done. Yay, stream's been updated. And now we're gaming. Now that I've talked about all the politics I can fit into an hour or you know, maybe slightly more. I think this is a good format. It enables me to manage my attention span a lot better. Where I don't have to try to play the game and cover news at the same time. Let's put these away. I keep those citrus berries. And I don't know if I want to keep the HM Surf. Probably put that away as well. It's hot in here. I was not expecting this. It is 52 degrees outside. I may need to open the window later. Fuck it, I'll open the window right now. My computer's producing a lot of heat, I think. And the heater, I actually have a really good heater in this apartment unit. I just need to let some cool air in because I'm sweating in here. All right, let me take a couple apples out of storage. Okay, good. I don't think I have any gummies, so. $2,300 money deposited. Hello. I have not seen Gengar around. Uh-oh, Gengar's been having a tough one after inciting a lynch mob to kill you and trying to destroy the world. So we got the info on Gengar. He seems to be in a slump or something. I'll take that. Let me go see the jobs in the mailbox. Tiny Woods, don't look at that. Apple wanted, don't want that. Solar Beam, don't want that either. Wait. I'll go back to the job bulletin board to see what one of those I could take. Sinister Woods, Silent Chasm, Great Canyon. Well, that's a delivery mission. I'm not taking that. I'm not going to Buried Relic. Escort mission on the 75th floor. Escort me to my love. 75th floor. No, I'm good, actually. I guess I just take this Upper Forest one. And then go to... Yeah, just go to the Mount Steel. Do the Mount Steel mission. You know? What would I like to visit? Angles and who oh, it was Oro, right? Yeah, Oro. The Tauros. What's up? Then I will save the game. Then I'll go to Mount Steel. Very good, very good. Apples, citrus berries, max elixir. You know, there's a song that I've really been bopping to lately, which is Not from this game. It's from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, predictably enough. It is the Marowak dungeon theme. If you can believe it, the Marowak dungeon theme actually wasn't used for Marowak, or Marowak Dojo theme was not used for the Marowak Dojo dungeons in Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness. They just used a placeholder dungeon theme, which I thought was a little bit strange. I don't know why they did that, because the theme for Marowak Dojo is really good. It's a remix, I think, of the dojo theme from this game, from Makukita Dojo. What's in this room down here? Money. And some rocks. Okay. This is some, like, level 100 boss versus level 1 crook type shit. You know, you come back to an early dungeon in the post game for like a job request or some shit, and you just absolutely roll over all the enemies. Not like this dungeon. Like, I don't think this dungeon was all that hard when I did it the first time. You know, like, for the dungeons that are like really annoying and difficult, I don't think Mount Steel is one of them. I think I'm aiming for the 5th floor. Another gummy, very good. Max elixir, that's nice. This dungeon is really nice. A lot of the early dungeons are really nice for collecting supplies for later dungeons. I do like that, how a lot of times the quality of items will be like consistent insofar as dungeons will give useful items, but useful for different use cases. So it's like very hard for you to ever soft lock yourself, to the extent that soft locks are even remotely possible in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. I don't think they are, actually. I don't think, if anybody knows otherwise, please, by all means, let me know, but I don't think there are any soft locks for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, at the very least, or even this game, at least not ones that are like particularly well known. Again, I could be wrong, but like, good game design, I think. There's the stairs. Give me some rocks, yes. I love picking up rocks. Okay, there's nothing there. That's kind of crazy. I wonder why sometimes I'm just unaffected by moves like that. I know it's probably something about like one of the skills I have enabled, the IQ skills or something, but I don't know which one. Reach the destination floor. Yay. Is it gonna be Nidoqueen or like, or what? It is Nidoqueen, okay. I notice a lot of time they have you with Pokemon that come in a duo, like Plusle Minun, Nidoking, Nidoqueen, and that sort of thing. in this game, but in later games they have a lot more Pokemon that are just like unrelated to one another, but it's implied in the social context of the world that they're friends, which is cool for those games, I think. Yes, I will leave the dungeon. Brown gummy? Very good. Good work, should get some rest. Yes, I will save the adventure. Let's see what's going on outside. Just Pelipper? Okay. Where's Gengar, I wonder? Check mail, Thunderwave Cave. Oh, now I get Mount Steel. Alright. Oh, I got Lapis Cave in the thing there. I'll take that. Jobless Lapis Cave? Yes. Don't mind if I do. Check mail. Okay, Gengar, are you here anywhere? Oh, here you guys are. Gengar, head to Mount Freeze. Okay, so I know where I'm going next. I'm actually gonna do... I think this is the game telling me to go to Mount Freeze. What I'm gonna do is take another job, like do another job from the bulletin board. So like I'll go to Lapis Cave. If that doesn't advance anything, I'll assume the game wants me to go to Mount Freeze. Because what happens in the remakes is that Gengar actually asks you to go with him. Oops. I will take something out of storage. Or maybe I won't. No, I will not. I'm not going to take anything out of storage. I will just put the money in the bag. Put it in. Put the money in the bag. Put it in. SpongeBob. Apple, brown, orange, X-Elixir, key. Okay. Now I will go to my teammates. I'll visit Angles first. Do the thing. Join the team. Now you're the leader. So that I can go visit Bulbasaur and give gummies that increase their stats. Yeah. Nice. Make leader. Now I will go visit Oro, who I remember is at the safari. Join team. Very good. I don't have any room for jobs anymore. Yeah, it's all taken. So I'll just save. Let's see. Fiery Field, that has to go over it. Yeah, I'll just go to Lapis Cave. The game isn't showing like the little go thing over Mount Freeze, so I'm gonna assume that going to Lapis Cave is a-okay. And then if it doesn't advance the story when it gets to the next day, Then I will go to Mount Freeze to try to catch up with Gengar. Have I allowed a Nincada on my team yet? I'm gonna assume no. Oh, you Nate. Sure. And this is not an escort mission, so I extra don't like I can explore the floors all I want, which is nice. Don't bite me for 1 damage. Bite me for 0 damage. And then kiss my neck a little bit. I think I'm looking for the 13th and 14th floor in this dungeon. Yes, 13 and 14. Gotcha, gotcha. Money. Link box. Blast seed. Okay. Okay. Oh, I actually gotta see what are my stats like. 97, 92, 79, 87. What about angles? 69, 69. Nice. 71, 63. Cool. What's up, Nidorino? You know what's kind of weird is you encounter in the next mystery dungeon games, you encounter Nidorino significantly earlier than Nidoran, the unevolved form. Same with Nidorina. In Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, the first dungeon you go to is Beach Cave, where you can find Kabuto, Shellos, and Shelder. And the second dungeon you go to is Drenched Bluff, where you can find Anorith, Lileep, Chingling, also Shellos, but different form. And I think that's it, actually. I don't remember for sure. But then the third dungeon you go to is a place called Mount Bristle. And there you can find Geodude, Machop, Spinarak, Starly, Doduo, Nidorino, and Nidorina. But not Nidoran. In fact, you can't find Nidoran until the post-game in that game. Which is kind of wild. I don't know why I just brain farted for a second there. Tail whip, very nice. Don't do any damage to me, just wag the tail a little bit. This is another one of those dungeons where it's like genuinely kind of hard to see the minimap. Annoying. I think I actually might be able to get done with the whole game if I'm good about it. Right? Like if this advances the story and Gengar says like, yo, what up? We gotta go to Murky Cave. We gotta cook Jesse. And then I'm like, okay, Lamel. I think that's the end of the game, end of the story. And then I will be done with this game for streaming purposes. Thank you for that. Floor. I think dungeons in this game are also significantly longer than dungeons in the follow-up games. Let me think about that though. Beach Cave is 4 floors, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the pit. Where, you know, Tiny Woods is only 2 floors and then the pit, or 3 floors depending on the version. Drench Bluff is 6 floors and then the pit, like the lowest or deepest part of the dungeon, I should say. Mount Bristle is 11 floors. In this game that you go to Thunderwave Cave, which is 5 floors, right? I think it's 4 and then the last one. Then Mount Steel is only 8 floors, 7 and then the last floor. Yeah, I think the dungeons, well, the dungeons up to that point are significantly shorter in this game than Explorers of Sky. I'm mostly thinking of like Lapis Cave because it's 14 floors, and I don't remember any dungeons that are like that long in Explorers of Sky. Not in the that like that point in the game. In fact, what is the longest dungeon? I wonder what the longest dungeon is in Explorers of Sky. If you count one dungeon as like not including the middle point. So it'd be like, if we're talking about Ant Plains, it would be 10 floors and then 9 floors instead of like 19. Or Steam Cave, it'd be like 7 and then 6 instead of 13. The midway points in this game, I feel like, are just kind of like crackpot type shit, or like crack pipe type shit, because like they will occur so far after halfway through the dungeon. Yeah, like where it's like just not even like could barely pass as a midway point. Like Mount Blaze and Mount Freeze and Frosty Forest, I think, or something like that, and Mount Thunder have like a quote-unquote midway point that's 10 floors in, and then after the quote-unquote midway point, you do like 2 more floors. You know? It's quite silly, I think. Whereas in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Time, Darkness, and Sky, the midway points will be pretty reliably, like, about halfway through the dungeon, like, for real. You know, so it'll be like 10 and then 10, or 10 and then 9, or 7 and then 6, and so forth. Barely saved Nincada from their fate there. There's the person we gotta rescue over there. Get out of here, Golbat. What's up, Slackoff? Slackoff escaped. Very good. 14th floor, here we come. Was that an enemy? It was. Perish. Good. There's only 2 rooms on this floor. I always find that kind of dungeon floor design amusing, where it's like there's only 2 rooms on a given floor. Like, okay. Get out of here. Okay. Oh, hello. Hello, for alligator. Nice. I will escape the dungeon. I do really want to leave. Graveler Rock. Very good. And some rescue points. Royal Gummy. Very good. And a special band. And a max elixir. Okay. Some good items. Yes, I will save the adventure. Alright, what's up? Oh, alright, it did progress the story. What's up, Gengar? Okay, we have to go with him to Mount Freeze. Okay, so that's the same in this game too. Alright, cool. Yeah. Alright, so let's just get the team ready and then we'll go up Mount Freeze. Alright. Extra orange berries. TMs I don't need. Very good. Don't want to store anything else. Do, however, want to take things out of storage. Such as one special band. And this royal gummy. And nothing else, I think. Yeah, that's it. Very good. So I'll sell the special band. And the power band, too. Wow, special bands sell for so much more. I don't know why. They do the same thing, just for different stats. Alright. Oh, I have enough to buy the last friend area, too, I think. Yep, I sure do. What's up, Wigglytuff? Buy. Scorched Plains, the last friend area that I have to buy for Wigglytuff. And there we go. I have bought all the friend areas. Nice. Alright, what's going on over here? Pitfall Valley. Maybe not. Thunder. Mount. Is there anything on Mount Blaze? No. Alright, this is, I think, the penultimate dungeon that I'm about to embark on. So, let's see. Check. Wait, where'd Gengar go? Where did he go? Where did he go? No, I don't want any of these. I'm gonna take this one just to delete it. I'll take, you know what? I'll take a couple from the bulletin board, even though I'm very fully aware that I'm probably not going to be able to do them. Before I finish the game, that is. Let's see, Mount Thunder. There's two from Mount Thunder, so I could take that one. There we go. Easy. Now to get the team ready, and then go to Mount Freeze. I'll visit Angles first. Very good. Make leader so that I can go give myself some gummies or something. Gummy. Special defense, that's good. And attack, defense, and so on. Alright, make leader. Good. Safari. Bro, you're coming with us to Mount Freeze. Right, do I have, oh, I should get one... No, I don't think I need another apple. I understand those are famous last words, but... Mount Freeze isn't so bad, I think. Yeah, okay, there we go. Now it has the little go thing there. Let's go to Mount Freeze. Alright. Gengar's only level 15? What a fraud. Alright. Because this is like both an escort mission and a story thing, I'm just gonna go up the stairs as soon as I find them. And also because this dungeon is like not very easy on my eyes. So the sooner I can get through this dungeon particularly, I think the better for my health. This dungeon flashbangs you. Also, it actually looks brighter on my screen than I think it does for people watching the stream. Like, you guys are seeing a version of this that looks less bad than what I'm seeing. That could have something to do with like the color fidelity of my monitor or something, but it's fine, don't worry about it. Basically is what I'm saying. I can't see anything. Get out of here, Shelgon. Shelgon gives good experience for this point in the game. Or for this, where this dungeon occurs in the progression of the game. Did not intend to explore the full floor the way I did there, but it happened, so. I can't see dick. Okay. I go to the left here first. Money? I'll take the money. Nothing here. I guess now I go to the right. Another unintentional I explored the whole floor moment. Okay. Go up here first. Okay, there's the stairs. Didn't have to explore the entire floor for this one. That's good. Anything this way? No. Nothing. Can't go up here though. Get out of here, Zigzagoon. Get out of here, Chimecho. Snowy weather. Certain ice types will be faster for this. And it'll be harder to hit them. So I hope I don't encounter any of those. Why is that a dead end? Annoying. Get out of here. Oh yeah, Gengar can like walk through walls, I guess. Which is gonna be kind of annoying. Alright, let me go this way first. And there's the stairs. Okay, cool. Go down first. The snow actually makes it a little bit easier to see, which is not how it works in real life, but I'll take it. Snow actually makes it really difficult to see. I remember the last time we got, like, particularly heavy snow, I actually got snow blindness and was miserable the whole day because my head hurt. I'll take that apple. Yummy. Okay, there's nothing over there. About here. Nothing? That's not connected to that room? What is wrong with this game? Get out of here, slacking. In the remakes, the ability Truant does something really goofy where if you stand next to a slacking when it's sleeping, it puts you to sleep. Is that the stairs? It is. Okay. Awesome. Oh, it's 15 floors and then this. Okay. And then it's like 3 more. See, the halfway, this is an example of what I mean. The halfway points occur way beyond halfway through the dungeon. Give me that money. Get out of here, Glalie. I said get out of here. One double team and you think you're all that. Die. Swap this. Here we go. Ow. Perish. Oh wait, that's the stairs up there. Okay. Okay, 4 floors, not 3. Reviver seed? Nah, I don't need that badly. I can just go on ahead. Excuse me. Gordon, Dr. Freeman. I'm leaving now. Back to my eyes hurt territory, and that's a dead end. Great, good. Thank you. Stop it. I can do that too. And then you die. I'm cooler than you. I'm not even ice type, and I'm still cooler than you. They never disappoint. They never disappoint, dude. Friendly fire, bro. Sometimes I think I hate this game, and then something like that happens, and I'm reminded, no, I actually like this game. This game's funny. Not here. Unintentional explored the whole floor reward. Or not. I cleared it. Okay. Cutscene time. Yeah, this is where you learn that officially that Gengar is the human that abandoned Gardevoir. Gengar's a bitch for this, by the way. Ninetale Crest. Okay. Oh, Ninetales. Damn, Ninetales really said he just has to stop being a bitch and then things will work out for him. I will save the adventure. I'll save the state. So I save the game also. Murky Cave. And he's only going to tag along for Murky Cave. So I'll go put away some items and then we'll go to Murky Cave. And that'll be the end of the game. Oh, right. I don't have any room for stuff. I can sell these. Special band. Yes. Power band. Yes. Power band again. Yes. Sell anything else? Nope. Nope. I'm gonna store some things. Like this, and this, and this, and this. And then, I don't remember how many floors Murky Cave has. I think it's like 30. I'm not sure about that, though. I could look it up, probably. Murky Cave. Oh, it's only 19? Oh, that's, like, not bad at all. I was expecting it to be way harder. Okay. Yeah. Let's set up the team. And then go to Murky Cave for the final dungeon outing of this game. Make leader. Give gummy. Very good. Make leader. Go visit Oro, who I still intend to bring along for the ride. Okay. Save game. Save state. Let's go to Murky Cave. The final dungeon in the post-game story. All right. Same deal here. I'm just going to head for the stairs as soon as I find them. Because I've been playing this game for quite a while. Get out of here, Vanette. Oh boy. Accidentally explored the whole floor reward? Incoming? Hello, Zubat. No. These Pokemon are not as strong as I thought they would be. Just judging by the amount of experience that I'm gaining from them. You missed. Okay, I gotta take you out first because you pose a threat to Tauros, so get out of here. Very good. Okay. Stairs. Easy enough. Okay. Can you hit? Fuck you. Oh, you have quick attack? I didn't know that. And I one-shot them anyway. Okay, these places are not that difficult. Random trap that did nothing. Okay. Start by going this way. That's a lot of money, though. I got 1,600 so far. I'm only like quarter of the way in. What? Okay. Okay, there's the stairs. $270. Okay. Nice. What? Wow, Gengar is really weak. A lot of HP, considering the level, but very weak. Accidentally explored the whole floor award. Dang. Alright, going left first. Okay, well. It's also a Cascoon. Poor bastard, he's literally coded so that he can't move. I mean, look at this. That's just mean. Why did they do that to my man? Okay, who has a... I guess I just have to do this. Yep. Nice. Can I put him to sleep? Is that a thing? I can. Okay. Bye. I literally don't have moves that can damage Shedinja, because Shedinja has Wonder Guard. So I have to just spam regular attack over and over again. Alright, thank you. Hey, stairs. Halfway through. On the 10th floor. No sludge this time. I would love a Graveler Rock right about now. You gotta be kidding me, dude. Gengar, you dumb fuck. Okay. That's the downside of Shedinja having so little HP. Is that if you can't damage them, they just regain it all at once. And it's like, shit. Perish? Cascoon? Okay. I'm glad I picked up that money beforehand. Fine Whip. Okay, Hydro Pump. That works too. It's a lot of money. More than 120 HP. Interesting. I was not expecting that. There's nothing over here. Accidentally explored the whole floor again. Award. Of all the Pokemon to be like really strong, I was not expecting this. I was not expecting Shedinja and Crobat to be the two most notable Pokemon of this dungeon. You know? You have more than 129. Oh my god. Alright, now I'm just getting hell experience from Swalot. Okay, has less than 195. That's good at least. Less than 142. Okay. th floor. I have to be a little bit more paranoid with my exploration patterns because Gengar, like I said earlier, is very weak. Mudkip, I'm gonna let you take care of that Crobat. Thank you. Is that a Misdreavus? I think that's a Misdreavus. He said Yowza. That Tauros just said Yowza upon leveling up. I wonder if that's like, in Japan you say Yattaze, which is like yay, and Yowza sounds like similar enough to that. They kind of translate it. It's like, yeah, that translates to that, right? And somebody on the translation team was like, sure. You know? Because it's not always a direct, like, transliteration or something. Jeez. Please let sleep powder work. Okay, sleep powder works. No, 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 no! Gengar! Gengar, what are you doing? Gengar, you are throwing! What the fuck is wrong with you? He almost got himself killed and got the whole fucking mission derailed, dude. No! Don't do this shit to me. No! Fuck you! Oh my god! Gengar, you are a piece of shit. Don't forget to take me. Don't forget to fucking follow. Jesus. Don't fucking wander off into the great beyond. You're on my exploration team, Gengar. Welcome to the fucking team. Get in line, dumbass. Cannot stand this game sometimes. And I get a monster house. Awesome. You piss off first. I'm almost positive you have Confuse Ray or something. Something tricky. Yeah. So Viper are not exactly my priority right now. Because those guys could potentially confuse me. Okay, that's all well and good. You get out of here. Oh my god. Piss off. Die. Great. Get out of here, Viper. Jumped on the fucking first floor. Let it be known. Give me that money. Back to square one. I'm on the second floor. $17 more floors to go if Gengar decides to keep his dumbass in line for the rest of it. Jesus. Gengar, you are the dumbest Pokemon on planet Earth. Why would you use Taunt there? Why? Why would you... I can't even control what moves he uses. This game actually makes me mad sometimes. You are going to perish. Thank you. Okay. I'm laser focused right now. This game's not gonna fucking pull that shit on me where it's like, haha, you have an escort mission, your escort just wanders off and gets the team killed fucking 4 times in a row. Like what happened in Magma Cavern the one time. Nothing there. Be over this. Oh, come on. Oh my god. Why? Why is this dungeon like this? Get out of here. Went up this way first. Over here. Ascoon. And I'm assuming... Oh, fuck. Shedinja. Alright. Gengar, whatever you do, stay right the fuck there. Thank you. Razor Leaf? Yes. Okay. Cleared out this room. There's. Alright, 8th floor now. No, Gengar, you are going to, stay in the fucking center of the team. Because I have to babysit you. That's not the move I wanted to select. Gengar, why did you move right next to him? Gengar, what is wrong with you? Huh? No, 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 no. This is actually impossible. Gengar, you have fucking doomed yourself. Why did you use taunt? You moron. You're gonna get everybody killed. I'm loading state already. Fuck you. Again, another run completely ruined by Gengar being stupid. Yeah. You don't have a fucking right to talk here, Gengar. You keep detaching from the group to go fight Pokemon that are 3 times as strong as you and get yourself killed and fucking torpedo the rest of the team. The only reason I'm here is because of your stupid ass and you keep trying to like get us sent home. Type shit. Jesus. Oro, I actually need that iron one. Okay. Oh my god, stop missing. Okay. There's nothing up there. I shouldn't have even looked. Piss off, Dustox. Didn't get jumped on the first floor. That's nice, at least. In before I get jumped right here. Any day now, you can stop being confused. That is an option that you have. All right, now piss off, Venonat. At least I didn't activate that trap. That would have been really nasty. Okay, 6th floor. Jesus Christ, Gengar. Hit. It's the most accurate move I have. Jesus. Piss off, Golbat. Give me to the next floor, please. Thank you. 8th floor. You better fucking stay in line, Gengar. 9th floor. I was talking all that shit about how this was like not that hard before, and now look at what's fucking going on. I found where the difficulty is. The difficulty is in lugging Gengar's dead weight. You'd think he'd be light because he's a ghost type, but no, he weighs down the whole fucking team somehow. And I can't control his tactics either. So I can't even set him to the hey dumbass, don't go kill yourself mode. He's always in the I'm going to go kill myself mode. Again? Another one? I hate this. Die. That's not gonna work, Angles. Hit your regular attack. Oh my god. Dude. Murphy's Law, Murphy's Law. There's nothing over there, there's nothing over here. This is a stationary opponent. It can't move. How do you miss Razor Leaf twice in a row? Can we go for three? Three times in a row. How did I know? 4. Clip this shit. 5? Okay. I missed Razor Leaf 4 times in a row against an opponent who canonically cannot move. Generational bad luck. Well, floor. Thirteenth floor. I can't wait for some symbolic bad luck to end my run on the 13th floor of this dungeon. Oh, Insomnia, huh? No. Can you... Okay. more than 121 HP. Okay. Let's go straight through. Finally, there's the stairs. I can't wait to miss Razor Leaf. I actually didn't miss. Okay, I'm genuinely surprised. Alright, 14th floor. There's the stairs. Okay, so Swalot has between 129 and 141 HP. Inclusive on 141, disclusive on 129. Has more than 129, but less than or equal to 141 HP. Okay. Let's see how much this does. Well, okay, that wasn't really indicative of anything, because it critted. Mudkip kind of coming in clutch. Gengar, what are you doing? Gengar. No, don't use taunt, you absolute moron! No, 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 no. Get the fuck behind me. What is wrong with you? Why are you bringing up the rear? You need to be on my ass for how much you're, like, almost getting killed. Again! What? He just walked into that. This game, shut up, Gengar. Second floor. What is this, attempt number 4? This has to be like attempt number 4. Thank you, Angles. Gengar. Gengar! I should have been done with this fucking 20 minutes ago. Thank you, Gengar. Very cool for fucking building the Torment Nexus by deciding to just have the IQ of a goddamn cucumber and, like, walk into death face first. And then be like, you better wait for me. Like, dude, what do you mean wait for you? You're the one running in head first, trying to die. Jesus. Get out of here with that. Okay. I don't trust Gengar, so you're going first. Okay. What do we got? Mudkip can handle that. I'm gonna take care of you. Okay. Oh, you have Screech. That's dangerous. Okay. Mudkip can take care of the guy on the right. So I'm going to take care of you first. Yep. I don't know what Gengar's doing. He better fucking follow along when I'm done with this. Okay. Oops. Scary face. Taunt. Oh, thank fuck. Okay, that's actually really good for me. Taunt lost all of its PP, so Gengar can't taunt the opponent into get murked immediately after. He can just walk. He now actually does have to walk face first into it. He can't be like, hold up, let me use the move that makes my opponent murk me for free. And just like that, I'm on the 9th floor. Okay, this is where things get dicey because Shedinja's showing up now. Fuck you and Leech Life. That is fine. I hate how unresponsive the buttons are in this game. Alright, this is gonna take a hot minute. But it'll probably be fine. Unless he does that. Fuck you. I don't know why I'm running so slow. Have I dropped any frames? No. So it's not something to do with my PC, that's for sure. Another monster house. Are you kidding me? Okay. You want to get got first. Then you, and then Shuppet, because Shuppet has Nightshade, I think. Yeah. And then Mudkip, if you are... if your brain is actually in there, Mudkip, you will take care of one of these Dustox. But you might have used up all... No, you didn't use them up. You're just not using it for some reason. Alright, in the vain hope that Mudkip will one day do something, I'm gonna leave the leftmost Dustox for last. Yep, of course he's not gonna do anything. What? Why? Hit. Oh my god, that's 2 in a row. Can we go for 3? No, okay. It hit that time. You're gonna take care of that. I'm not dealing with that. Okay. That's unfortunate. But stairs are right here, so it's fine. th floor, you need to get out of here quick. Stairs are not there. It's Crobat. That's rough. Okay, Crobat and Shedinja. That's going to be unfortunate. All right, it has less than 134 HP. That's great, Gengar. Just fucking stay there. Mudkip, none of that's gonna work, so you're just wasting all of your move usages. Great, thank you. I can't wait for Leech Life. Oh no, it's not Leech Life. Okay. I can't believe it isn't Leech Life. Mudkip, what have you done? He tried to use taunt. Oh my god, he tried to get himself killed again. I don't think there's anything up there. Oh, great. Can we go for 2 in a row? 2 in a row missed? Nope. Okay. No, wait, there is. Okay. Good. Okay. I could be kind of crazy, but I think the moves missing, the thing about like moves missing multiple times in a row in this game only makes sense if accuracy is counted, like calculated a certain way, which is they roll the dice for a period of time, right? Like for a period of ticks or in-game turns. It's like it operates off of one dice roll. And if it rolls a certain amount, then like all of your moves in that time period will miss. Right? Or like maybe it's a per move thing. So it's like, oh, you rolled this for Razor Leaf in this little miniature time block. So anytime you use Razor Leaf in this little time block, you will miss. But the thing about that being like, if it's possible to use a move multiple times in each given time block. So it could be like you use Razor Leaf 3 or 4 times and it misses every time. Right? Like see what's happening here. Let me. That's the only way that move interactions like that make sense to me, because it doesn't make sense for a move to just be so inaccurate in this game that it will genuinely only hit like 50 at best % of the time, right? Like Razor Leaf does not have the accuracy of Focus Miss. And even then, for the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, for which accuracy is listed, the accuracy of moves like Razor Leaf is about 80 to 85%. I should be hitting more frequently than I am. You know, if it's a... Oh my god, Gengar, what are you doing? You tried to use taunt again, you dumb bastard. Gengar, genuinely, were you dropped on your head? Not when I'm so fucking close to the finish line of this dungeon. Jesus. My god, dude. Okay. I'm gonna drink this Max Elixir now. I'm not risking anything. To the extent that I can help it. Okay. Okay. So Muk has greater than 116 HP, but less than like 160 something, whatever that ended up being. And yeah, obviously you have greater than 108. But Gengar, you better stick fucking close behind. Oh my god. Where are you going? Okay, Muk has less than 149, which pretty predictable, I guess. That's to be expected. Okay, I think this is the furthest I've made it. 16th floor. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Mudkip, you take care of that Crobat. I said, thank you. Again, that is not how Psywave works. Different move. I love that the fucking text scrolling by actually ate inputs. Like it ate my diagonal, like, or that ate my like straightforward input. Okay, Mudkip, you're there, so you take care of that. Thank you. Okay. 17. 17th floor. More than 122 HP. Okay. What did I use last? Razor Leaf. Okay. Eighteenth floor. Oh my god, I'm so close to the end. Please. Come on. 19th floor. Okay, last floor. And the stairs are right there. Oh my god, thank you. That was unreasonably difficult for how short of a dungeon it was comparatively, and how little of a threat any of those Pokemon posed to me. Unreasonable shit. Gengar, you deserve your fate. Oh shit, I get to fucking spill the beans on Gengar? Let's go. Okay. This happens, this is the good ending, by the way. This is like you pick the correct answers. From what I understand of the game from the remakes. You know, this would hit a lot harder, I imagine, if Gengar wasn't fucking dead weight for the past 40 minutes of my life. Mobile Scarf. Oh, right, that lets you walk anywhere. We'll save the adventure. Holy shit. I think there's something that happens if you go outside here. Or maybe not. That's it. That's the game. Kind of unceremonious, but holy shit, that was difficult. Is there anything over here? Any last thing to talk to? Nope. Oh, well, here's Gardevoir. Yes, you can become a member. Yay. Well, not nicknamed Gardevoir. Now that's the game. Oh. Go in here, save the game. Save state. That's it. Oh my god. What a way to end it. 40 minutes of my testicular getting torsioned. Oh my god. Okay. Who's live? Hassan? Fuck it. Raid Hassan. Sure. Default option. Enjoy the Hasanabi broadcast. This was annoying. This was difficult for all the wrong reasons. I'll see you guys after Thanksgiving holiday comes and goes. No sooner than Saturday. Maybe even Sunday or Monday or something like that. But yeah, I'll be out for a while. Bye.